I am going to show you how to make pasta dough using a food processor. So if you have a food processor at home, this is a super simple, easy, and quick way to make pasta dough. Okay, so I am using this kind of mini food processor. You can absolutely use the big normal kind, but since I'm only using 2 eggs for my pasta dough right now, then I can totally use this food processor. If you're using any more than 2 servings, I definitely recommend using the regular size food processor. We are starting with 1 cup of the extra fine 00 white flour. So this flour just produces a super silky, smooth, and flexible pasta dough. It's much easier to roll out, especially by hand with 00, just because it's so fine. It's gonna just give you way more pliability in your dough. So we are going to just add this flour to our food processor. Now we're going to just crack our eggs. Okay. And now for the salt. So salt really is optional, because when you cook your pasta, you're gonna cook it in salted boiling water. So it's gonna give your pasta dough that flavor during that cooking process. This is just my family recipe. There's so many recipes out there. So if you wanna skip the salt when you make the dough, that is totally fine, and just be sure to add it to your pasta water. So we are just gonna do a sprinkle of salt. So measurement is 1/2 teaspoon. So measurements are 1 cup of flour, 2 eggs, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and that's gonna make 2 servings. So 1 egg, 1 serving. So now we are just going to run our food processor and let the machine really mix those eggs into our flour. So we're gonna just keep doing it kind of manually. So you can see it's getting super crumbly, and I'll just show you what it looks like. So right now, our pasta dough is really crumbly. It's definitely sticky, so it's hard to tell, but it's, you know, very moist from those eggs. And we're just gonna keep doing this a little by little until that dough kind of all comes together, and soon it'll kind of form into one big piece in our food processor. And then we're gonna take that out and just finish up that kneading for about a minute, and that's it. So, okay, so then when it starts kind of sounding like, oh, I don't wanna like overdo it, I'm gonna stop. So we are going to take this out because it is pretty much a solid piece now. So nice and mixed together. So it's already done like at least half of that kneading for us. So we're gonna just finish this off by hand. So now here is your dough. So we have let the food processor do most of the work for us. So now we are just going to knead this into a ball the last like minute or 2 of the hand kneading process. So if you are using this food processor because you have a wrist issue, or you don't want to knead it by hand, you can just do very minimal from here. That food processor did do most of the work. If you used a bigger food processor, you could go for a lot longer. But for the small ones, we just don't want to overwork it. And you can just see how smooth it already is just from, maybe 15 seconds in the food processor. At this point, you absolutely could let it rest. Your pasta is gonna come out delicious. I just really like to knead it until it's absolutely smooth. So this kneading process by hand is top over itself, and then I'm gonna use the palm of my hand to apply pressure and push it through. And then I'm gonna turn it 90 degrees, and I'm gonna do the same thing. And I'm gonna put it over itself and apply pressure. And I'm just gonna keep doing this until my dough is super smooth and it bounces back with a light finger poke. So I'm probably gonna do this for just about a minute, and then we're gonna let it rest. So this kneading process is allowing your gluten to be activated. And when you're activating that gluten, you're building your gluten network. And that gluten network provides that flexibility and stretch that you want in your pasta. So I am going to now roll this into a ball. So same method as that kneading process, but we're gonna do it at smaller increments, and we're gonna just fold it into the center so that it kind of on the other side makes a ball. So we are just going to push it into the center. All right, and then on the bottom, it's going to not look so pretty, but on the other side, we're just gonna use our hands to now shape it into that perfect little dough ball. So back of the dough ball, front of the dough ball. Now that we have, really beat up our dough, we've activated that gluten, now our dough needs to rest. We are going to cover it at room temperature for at least 30 minutes. And the reason we do this is because we first don't want any air to get to it, because it will make a skin on your pasta dough, which will kind of crack when you try to roll it out, and it will lose that moisture that you put into the dough with those eggs. So we will cover it, and that will just keep that moisture inside your dough. You want your dough to rest because it's just worked out so much, and now it just needs to rest and relax, so that then once you go to roll it out, it's a lot easier to roll out. And if you don't allow it to rest, then it could break because it doesn't have time to just like stretch out on its own. So we are gonna rest this for 30 minutes. So I will see you in 30.